advance to the general election. Key contenders include former Democrat House member and Biden 10th member of Congress Sarah. Republican Steve Hilton, endorsed by President Donald Trump, is emphasizing lower taxes and smaller government. Bernie Bennett reporting.
A Brookings Institution analyst says the cost of servicing the national debt has tripled in the past 5 years. It's now more than $1 trillion a year. Under current policies, Jessica Riedel says budget deficits are projected to soar past $4 trillion annually within a decade. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WDBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
There we go.
It's time for Middleboro Matters on WDBF 1538 and 99.7 FM. Hosted by Joey Crystal. Call in at 508-822-1106. And now, here's Joey Crystal with Middleboro Matters.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Middleboro Matters. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is the 1st of June, 2026. It sure doesn't really feel like it. The low temperatures, at least at night, kind of indicate that it might be November, but it's June. Let's start the show right off here and say good morning to our guest. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, Joey. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic on this hopefully warmer June 1st day. I don't know. I haven't seen high temperatures for today, but hopefully it's going to be warmer than it has been in the majority of May.
I agree. It's time to start springtime.
Absolutely, it is. So we're just going to get right into it here today. Today is June 1st. Today is Middleboro Town Meeting Day. And the big story on the town meeting for tonight is the budget. Tell us a little bit about what that all entails, what's in it, what people can expect when they go in to vote for it tonight or vote against it tonight, whatever they decide.
So it's difficult to explain everything, but long story short, in the last time manager left, he told us that he had a balanced budget. There was some stuff proposed for the school district, but other than that, he said there were no layoffs and it was a balanced budget. After he left, we found out that wasn't maybe as accurate as he had led us to believe. I think there are about 10 or 12 cuts in the school department, and there's a bunch of cuts town-wide. Luckily, the intern time, Bill Perkins, former police chief Bill Perkins, came in, got his hands on the budget, figured out that there were some issues, and we're going to be going into the town meeting tonight with a balanced budget. There are some definite cuts. There's definitely going to be some pain felt by the community as a result of these cuts. And it really is, I don't think anyone in the community should be blaming anyone but themselves. We elected and we hired people to come up with a balanced budget. It looks like it did not pan out that way. And I don't think you can put the blame on any one person, except for the town needs to stop paying attention. We have 4 voter turnout. We have 4 voter community engagement. The people who aren't engaged will blame the town, saying that they need to do more. But I think it's important to remember that the residents are the town. We are the town. Every single person lives in town is part of the town. That's on us. It's not on any one person. So that's what it's going to be tonight. I expect it'll probably be a long town meeting, maybe some extra and some outbursts, but I don't think tonight's the time for the anger and the outbursts. Moving forward, what my suggestion would be is that we get re-engaged as a community and lead the town forward. Democracy is a participatory sport, and it really works better when you have more and more people involved. when 4% of the community and the people who are voting, that means 96% of the community is disengaged. And it just doesn't work well that way. So take a few hours out of your life, and I know it's not easy. It's, I'm as busy as anybody, you know. Get to town meetings, start paying attention to what's going on every week, the selectmen's meeting, and all the other meetings, read the newspapers or the blogs or whatever. And don't just read them, pay attention and look into it a little bit. You can't believe everything you read on the internet. I believe that's a quote from Abraham Lincoln. And we need to be more involved and more engaged. And maybe we won't run into these issues as much in the future if we are.
Now, usually, when we have town meeting as well, what is followed is a special town meeting, and that's not happening tonight. And I don't know if that's the first time that's ever happened, but the special town meeting was going to follow on the 16th, I believe it was the date I saw. What is going to be on that? That people maybe should pay attention to as well post tonight.
There's another thing that people have to pay attention to and be engaged with, and that's largely financial, I believe. So we're going to be talking about like payouts and transfers and things like that. It's all part of it, and that's on a Tuesday in 2 weeks, I believe, because we actually have a planning board meeting that night that we have to reschedule as well.
Another thing that's going to be on the town meeting tonight, and I think this is the second biggest thing that will be on town meeting tonight, and that is the article about the Bitcoin machines. What is your thoughts on that as well? Because I have given my thoughts on it. Every time I see a news story about a Bitcoin machine or anything like that, it's always negative. What do you think about the Bitcoin machines in town, and what have you heard from community when it comes to this article?
To be honest with you, I haven't heard too much from the community about it. Shame on me, I don't know more about the Bitcoin machines. I just know this though, like nothing is inherently evil or good. It's how people use them. I think a lot of people don't understand the Bitcoin machine. I know I don't, so I would stay away from them. But as with anything that's new, there's a lot of opportunity for people to take advantage of other people with those types of things. And I think that's probably where the negative connotations come from. I don't know how Bitcoin's gonna, apparently it's here to stay. I don't know how it's going to be wildly successful or wildly, a failure, or it's going to be kind of another part of life. But I don't know. We're going to have to see. To be honest with you, I think the thing to, as far as information technology going forward, I would suggest that the town start paying attention to what we're going to be talking about as far as going into data centers and things like that. I think that'll have a much more impact on our local economy than anything else. But yeah, maybe it's too early right now for Bitcoin machines. I believe the police people come out against it because again, there's too many opportunities for people to be taken advantage of. But I probably won't vote in favor of it. And again, that's just because I don't know enough about it.
Okay. Another thing as well is you're on the planning board now. And what are some of the articles that might show up tonight or show up in the special town meeting pertaining to the planning board that people who are maybe interested in that side of town keep an eye on tonight? And also the special town meeting as well.
There's nothing too controversial going on with the planning board articles. There's a couple of accepting some roads and things like that, but nothing extraordinary as far as the planning board concerned for this year. But again, the data center thing is going to be coming up in the near future, and that's something I think everybody needs to pay attention to. As far as planning board business goes, there's a proposal for what we're calling the Strobel's Farm, which is coming up in the future, and people may want to pay attention to that. It's a nice old farm, but the family that owns it doesn't want to be in the farm business anymore, and so they're looking to sell their property, and it is in a commercial, or I think it's GU, general use zone district, right off of Route 28 across from Massachusetts. So if you want to pay attention to that, it's going to have an effect no matter what goes in there, and people should be. Again, it goes back to what I was saying right at the beginning. The community as a whole needs to start paying attention more closely to things that are going on in town, if you want to have a say on what's going on in town.
Another thing that people should really, I think, keep an eye on as well, and we've talked about this several times in the past, is the MBTA Communities Act. Rehoboth will be voting on it tomorrow. They voted on it before. They've struck it down before. What are your thoughts on the most recent things going on with that, as we are now well past the deadline and things are happening with that now? And what are your thoughts on that? Because again, there are towns in this area that are still haven't voted on it. Rehoboth, Carver, which again, I've talked about Carver several times. I don't know why they're a part of it. I never understood that. But what are your thoughts on the Rehoboth's big town meeting, which is tomorrow?
But I don't know too much about. I mean, I understand the whole opposition to it. I think it's a good idea based on a bad idea. I agree with you that cheap housing, but I think the local community should really be back with starting where and when that housing should be implemented. When the state comes in and says everybody has to do this, you know, it doesn't work well that way. Case in point, the one I know most about is Middleboro. They stuck a train station where it was convenient for the train, not where it was good for the community. They did it with little to no input from the community. They did it against the community's wishes. And now we got to build thousands and thousands of units around that train station that shouldn't be where it is. There are a lot of opportunities to have done that correctly. I begged, when I was on the select board, I begged the MBTA to work with us and not against us. They nodded their head, smiled, and said no. So now we have this horrible train station in a city spot. And we have some housing popping up around it, which and the housing is BS too. It's not maybe market price, but it's certainly not affordable. These apartments aren't going up to give people an opportunity to save some money and buy a first-time home. You know, this is housing that's designed to keep people in the housing and not transition into their own homes. It's not good for the only people it's good for the developers, and the state needs to own that. They need to understand that, and they need to admit it and work to solve the problem. You know, these are solutions that the state's coming up with that look good on paper and don't work in the real world, and I'm tired of it. You know, to be honest with you. And everybody's mad at Mara Healy about this stuff, but everybody seems to forget that it was Charlie Baker who instituted this law. You know, let's put the blame where the blame belongs. Let's stop letting these politicians pass the law and then retire and get the hell out of there, and leave everybody else in the state to clean up the mess. You know.
Another thing. Go ahead.
Every time I drive by there, I get more and more frustrated because it was such a bad. And like I said, I was in favor of the train station, and I'm in favor of increased housing. But the way they're going about it is completely wrong, and it's extremely frustrating.
Yeah. Another thing as well, and me and Don briefly talked about this. We haven't really gotten into it that much, but it is now making news. The state is looking into a position where they could potentially expand MBTA service into the Cape, not directly into the Cape, but more like Buzzards Bay area potentially. And what are your thoughts on that? I mean, that could be a situation where if that does happen, the old Lakeville station would probably be a station again. That's just my guess. But what are your thoughts on that? The MBTA potentially looking into expanding service into the Cape.
I would caution anyone who supports anything the MBTA does to look at things very closely. The expansion of the Cape 5 to a full year-round service is supposed to come after phase 2 of the South Coast Rail. South Coast Rail phase 2 is head in the water, just like we always knew it was done, even though the state and the MBTA promised us time and time again that they did not abandon phase 2. So I don't have any faith, I don't have any belief that the state will do what it's supposed to do correctly. The idea of the train to the Cape, I think, is a great one. The way it's being talked about right now, it won't work because the pinch point in South Station won't allow for the amount of trains that we need to get to the Cape and back. So now you're going to put the Fall River line, the New Bedford line, and the Cape Cod line right up through the Middleboro line, which is a pinch point in South, I think it's Braintree, Quincy area. And there's only a certain number of trains that can go through that. And that's it. We're at it right now. We're at the saturation point right now. You can't expand service on that line. So you can say you're going to add trains from the Cape, but where are those people going to go? There's only a certain number of cars that can go on that line at one time, and we've reached it. All right? So South Coast Rail is as popular as it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's no seats left on the train.
Yeah. Another thing.
The problem is this Cape, and I think people really need to pay attention to this. The expansion of the Cape Flyer, and like I said, I think it's a good idea. But we would like to believe something else. And they lied to us about it. And they spent billions of our dollars, billions, billions, for a subpar train station. Are we going to let them do that again?
Another thing that has frustrated me to no end is the press coverage and just the way that FIFA has handled the entire 2026 World Cup. There will be World Cup matches here in Foxborough this month. What is your thoughts on the World Cup, the transportation with it as well? What are your thoughts on the World Cup?
I'd like to know how much spent on the new MBTA station at Foxborough Stadium. Because that's money that FIFA should have put up, or that Kraft should have put up. The taxpayers from Massachusetts certainly going to be paying those Kraft and FIFA to make billions of dollars. I play more soccer than most people, and my kids play more soccer than most kids. I think I put my kids on 2 different soccer teams. I play in 2 different teams. But between the 2 of us, that's 8 different soccer teams in my household. And I can't afford to take our kids to a FIFA game because it's outrageously expensive. It's prohibitively expensive. And yet my tax dollars are going to pay for a train station at Foxborough Stadium so that Bob Kraft just makes more money off my back. It doesn't make any sense to me. And shame on the MBTA for allowing that to happen.
Yes, absolutely. The FIFA will be lucky if I watch any of the World Cup this year. I might watch a couple of USA games from the nice comfort of my couch. That's gonna be about it for me. But yeah, let's get into something a little bit more happy here. Hopefully happy if the rumors are to be believed. Today is June 1st. And for Patriots fans, that means potentially at 4 p.m. or a little bit after 4 p.m., we could be seeing a new player on our team. That's A.J. Brown. What is your thoughts on the Patriots this offseason, what they've done? Because they've made some pretty good moves this offseason. And if, of course, if A.J. Brown comes here, that just makes it even better. What are your thoughts?
I'm looking forward to it, I guess. I mean, remember, we weren't supposed to be back in the playoffs for a couple of decades, right?
Yeah.
And we do all right last year.
Yep.
So they're making the right move. I'm looking forward to it. I'd like to be excited about football again. That'd be fun. The controversy around Vrabel, I thought was ridiculous. What teams love to revel in the downfall of others more than anything else? So it's yeah, I'd like to see football come back and be a little bit more prevalent in this area again. It's tough though. I mean, you lived in things for about 20 years, so it's never going to be as good as that once was. You can always hope.
Yeah, and we're starting to see the prevalence of baseball coming back into the state. Not as much the Red Sox. The Red Sox are struggling a little bit, but the Lowell Spinners are back. Yes, they're off to an 0-4 start. I get it, but again, this is year one. The expectations aren't that high. You got a couple of weeks before you got the Cape Cod Baseball League as well coming back. So baseball is going to be a big thing here in June, July, and August. Hopefully the Red Sox can get it together. And hopefully this summer is going to be better for baseball in the state of Massachusetts.
I mean, you don't have to go to the Boston to watch a good baseball game. You can go to Middleboro High and watch a good baseball game, too.
Absolutely.
I think baseball and softball both were at playoff games last night. Not sure what the results were. Right is right. It's a good time, and if somebody wants to play baseball, this is the love of the game. That's who's the place to play.
Ron Lancaster just informed me Middleboro won both, so they are going to continue. So that's good. I think Taunton was the one that lost, right, Ron?
Taunton baseball lost. Taunton softball won.
Okay, Taunton baseball lost. Taunton baseball was the one that lost in their it was a tournament play.
Yes.
Tournament play. So yeah. So again, you got a whole hopefully month of June where Middleboro will be playing in baseball. But what is a couple of other things you want to just mention as well before we let you go, Alan?
What's pretty important for a lot of people is I've been doing a lot of bike riding and running outside recently, and one thing that I'm very happy that Charlie Baker passed while he was in office was the vulnerable pedestrian law. And that states that you're supposed to give any vulnerable pedestrian, with a cyclist, a pedestrian, a runner, walker, anybody like that, even people on horses, things like that. Most vehicles are supposed to give them 4 feet of space. So you don't have to drive as close as you possibly can to these people. Give them the 4 feet, give them a little opportunity to live and breathe and run another day. If there's a car coming the other way, you can slow down. You don't have to pass everybody at the same time. You can go into the other lane if you need to, if there's a pedestrian on the side. But it's 4 feet. If the average car lane is about 10 feet, you have to go into the other lane. So slow down when you see a pedestrian or a vulnerable pedestrian. Give them the 4 feet. Give them a wave. They'll greatly appreciate it. We don't need any more accidents involving pedestrians. It only takes a second or two, and you can make it up on the other side of the pedestrian.
I agree, 100%. Thank you, Alan, for calling in today, and we'll be talking to you again maybe sometime during the summer after maybe the 4th of July.
All right, that sounds good. So you take care. Always good talking with you.
Sounds good. Yep. Bye-bye, Alan.
Bye-bye.
That was Alan Frawley giving us a call, a preview of tonight's Middleboro town meeting. And it's just one town meeting tonight. Usually they would have the special town meeting attached to it. However, that will be in a couple of weeks. from now. It'll be a standalone thing this year as well. So a lot of great things, a lot of very important things are on the docket for the town meeting tonight. So if you're in Middleboro, go out and vote if you are able to at town meeting tonight. All right, it is 11:30 a.m. We're going to take our news break. When we come back, we will open up the phone lines, 508-822-1106. We'll start the second half of the show by talking about the Raynham Summer Fun Run. It is tonight, rain or shine. So we'll start off the second half of that of the show here with that. We'll be right back.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. It is
No, I know it was a
another jolt
mistake.
for the
Yeah.
To tell Ellen, please refrain from using the word shitty over there.
I didn't even hear that.
He did.
He did?
Yeah.
I didn't even
It's a
notice.
mistake. Everybody does it.
I didn't even notice that he
Please don't
did.
do it again.
I didn't even notice he did.
Yeah.
Because the phone was not
Yeah.
amazing. So I
think
didn't even notice.
when we talk on cell phones, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. 391 and 392. I'm gonna play Middleboro basketball for 391 and 392. Coming out of this break. Okay.
Said they targeted a U.S. base in response.
Correspondent Andrew Stewart. Backed by Britain, the French Navy has intercepted another Russia-linked oil tanker that's under international sanctions. Steps have been taken to address violent demonstrations at a site in New Jersey's largest city.
There's now a curfew around Delaney Hall, an immigration detention center in Newark, New Jersey, where clashes have happened between protesters and federal agents, including ICE, that's now drawing in local and state police. Governor Mikey Sherrill described one over the weekend where she says 3 protesters were arrested.
They threw projectiles, they used barriers as weapons, and lit tires on fire in the streets.
Those comments courtesy WABC, with Mayor Roz Baraka imposing a curfew from 9 p.m. until 6 a.m. around Delaney Hall. I'm Julie Walker.
You can forget the musical acts. President Trump says he is going to headline the Great American
Oh,
State
I
Fair
hope he does
celebration
tiny
of the
dancing.
country's 250th anniversary later this month on the national
He's got an all right. He's got an all right lineup. I like Wasp. I like Blackie Lawless. I like Kid Rock.
Whoa. When did this happen?
I always liked Kid Rock.
I don't mind, but if I was Kid Rock, I'd be a little pissed. I supported you, I backed you up. And you get young MC and Milli Vanilli before me.
Milli Vanilli.
He's still going to do it, but I feel a little upset.
Blackie Lawless is going to do it too. It's interesting.
Great.
I guess.
Okay.
Wasp hasn't really been relevant in about 20 years, but that's neither here or there.
This is really great to work with.
They're still a good band.
I recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation.
I mean, if he's going to perform, Wasp better perform. It better be
Maybe he
Wasp.
could be the lead singer.
Yeah, it better be
That doctor could
Wasp.
be the lead singer.
Not just Blackie Lawless.
No.
I don't know who else is like performing. Like
Well, right now,
Aaron Lewis, I guess is another one.
Aaron Lewis from Spain.
Uh,
Yeah, he's sort of a nutshell.
I don't know.
Vanilla Ice, obviously a relevant.
Oh, boy. Yeah, he's relevant, all right.
Freeman Williams, you see his Music Factory.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
The big thing about him is they did a video with a young shapely girl, and the person who was singing was one half of the Weather Girls. And there was one other person that's still involved. But I looked at the lineup and he said, well, a lot of these acts are third rate. And I said, you're not wrong.
They're like they're fourth rate.
Yeah. I mean, that Milli Vanilli canceled, well, gee.
Town Hall. cancer.com.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really
There's a
beneficial to
new
us.
pill that's giving
Why
a
didn't
relief
they
on
have,
some cancer patients.
Alice Cooper maybe perform as well? Maybe he could have performed his 80s music. the new wave material is terrible.
Kiss.
Kiss-
Kiss on there?
Kiss doesn't want to do any more live shows. It doesn't matter how much you pay him.
But I haven't looked at the new lineup yet, so I didn't know.
The lineup is not good.
Well, of course it's not good. There were two acts that I would say if I was there, I wouldn't mind seeing. One was Martina McBride, the country act, if you like that. Sheet Drop. And the other is the Commodores, who are nice R&B act, but better with Lionel Richie than without Lionel Richie. That's still a good enough act. They can't.
Of course they did.
You got Morris Day in the time who said, I ain't doing that. Like immediately after he was named. He didn't even wait.
Hi neighbor, Middleboro Gas Electric would like to show you a quick safety tip. Whether you're connecting new homes or putting in a new mailbox, Dig
There we
Safe
have
will help locate underground pipes and wires on your property and route them to
Yeah, Wasp is more controversial than Alice Cooper is. So
digging, drilling, excavating, grading.
that's a weird
If
one.
Wasp was performing in the parking lot of Hong Kong City, that's me. I'm sure there are plenty of other people who would.
And they haven't really been relevant in a long time.
Electric would like to share a quick safety tip with you.
All right.
Many people have been taking on home improvements this year, but have you also upgraded your electrical safety system? Older homes, like so many in our area, have outdated breakers and wiring
Okay.
that may not meet the high powered needs of modern
Coming
technology.
back.
A licensed electrician knows all the code requirements.
This is Summer Run 5.
You can find an easy to read
Correct?
summary of
Yeah,
think-
usually
yeah.
it's number 5. He'll usually send me the results tomorrow.
I've
Well, he'll send them to you too.
what number? 236. Okay. I've lost count.
No, it's fine.
Okay, here we go. Good, great, good, perfect. Okay. Awesome. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and 0. And welcome back to Middleboro Matters. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is 11:37 a.m. And it is the first day of June of 2026. It's Monday. It is a pretty nice day outside. It's not raining, at least. I don't know if the sun is out, but I think it is. At least it's cloudy and it's not raining. So that's good. But 11:37 a.m. here. Open phone lines for the remainder of the show. I want to thank Alan Frawley for calling in as well. Talk about everything Middleboro town meeting tonight. Also, we talked briefly about the special town meeting. That's going to be happening on the 16th as well. So stay tuned for that as well if you're in Middleboro. You want to definitely go to that one too. So that will be coming up. So I want to thank Alan for calling in today. This Friday is June the 5th. It's a big show. Not only is it Hometown Talk, Friday edition, not only do I host said show, but June 5th is my birthday. June 5th, as Ron claps. Thank you, Ron. Yes, June 5th, I will be 27 years old. I don't mind saying that. I don't care. I'll be 27. Yeah, it's a big show. First hour, Eric Dunn will be joining us in the first hour. Usually he joins us in the second hour, but he'll be joining us in the first hour of the program on Friday because in the second hour, we have a great guest planned for everybody in the second hour. It is Chachi LaPrette. We'll be talking about all things Lorenzo's Beatles Night. The first one is on Friday. Yes, it's going to be on Friday. I'll be in attendance. And it should be a fun night of Beatles trivia and all of that as well at Lorenzo's in Middleboro. And Chachi LaPrette is going to be calling in along with John Logan as well, who is with him for a lot of his big events as well. He'll be there at Lorenzo's on Friday as well. We'll talk about some other events that'll happen throughout the summer. We'll talk about some of probably we'll mention touch upon some of the most recent Paul McCartney appearances as well. Paul McCartney has been busy over the past month or two. An appearance on Saturday Night Live, which I watched, which was awesome. As well, he did Band on the Run. That was one of the songs he did, I believe. And I don't remember the other song he did. But he did Band on the Run, and that was a great version of that song. And then he appeared on a late night show as well. Why am I forgetting the name of it? The top of my head here. I should know it. He also appeared on that a couple of weeks back. And Ron is trying to remember too. I see Ron trying to remember. I don't remember either.
Was it Stephen Colbert?
Yes, Stephen Colbert. Thank you, Ron. Stephen Colbert. Yes, Stephen Colbert. Paul McCartney was on that last show, I believe. So a lot of great appearances for Paul McCartney, and also he's got an album coming out as well. And Ringo also had an album come out recently, or it's coming out too. So it's a busy 2026 for the remaining members of the Beatles there. We'll be talking about all things Beatles with Chaj LaPret on Friday during the second hour, 10:35 a.m. He'll be coming on potentially in the studio. I'm not sure. Either he'll be calling in or in the studio. So stay tuned for that on Friday. Then the following Friday, I will have a great guest planned as well. I'm not sure if it's 9:35 a.m. or 10:35 a.m. I will know more this week. But her name is Caroline Moran. She's going to be talking about her communications major journey as well. She went to college for communications. We're going to be talking about that. I also went to college for communications as well at Massasoit. So we'll be talking about her journey there in that communications major at her college that she went to as well. We're talking all about that on June the 12th with Caroline Moran as well. So those are the upcoming Fridays, guests coming up for the upcoming Fridays. So stay tuned for that. But open phone lines here for the remainder of the show. 508-822-1106 if you want to call in, talk about what is on your mind this morning. If you're a wrestling fan, did you watch Clash in Italy yesterday? I did. Not bad. Not bad. A lot of people were very negative on it for some reason. It wasn't a bad show. I knew a lot of the results that were going to happen. I felt a lot of those results were going to happen. That happened. Were going to happen. Of course, Roman Reigns was going to lose the title so quickly after getting it back. The story that they're telling with Roman Reigns, I think, is very interesting. Yeah, a lot of people will say it's a rehash of his last title reign. There's new characters involved here. There's going to be some new characters involved here pretty soon. And there's just more story to tell here, I think, with that. So I don't feel that this title reign has been as bad as people think. Now they're teasing Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes again, which please don't do that. Don't do that, please. Separate them. Keep them separated until some Survivor Series, please. I do not want to see another match between those guys for quite a while here. I just don't. Don't want to see it. Cody Rhodes did a great job in his match against Gunther. That was an interesting matchup. I felt that Gunther maybe should have won, but there's more to tell, I think, with the Cody Rhodes story as well. His next opponent is obviously going to be Sami Zayn. And that's going to be interesting, I'm sure. So we'll see how that goes. It was obvious, very painfully obvious, that Rhea Ripley was going to retain against Jade Cargill. They are on a collision course when it comes to Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, probably a SummerSlam. We'll have to see how that goes. Maybe they wait a little bit longer for that match. I don't know, but right now I think that's the plan. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. Now the match that made me question things a little bit was Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. Okay, Brock Lesnar won the rematch. Cool. Why did the rematch happen to begin with? I think the only reason why the rematch happened to begin with was that first match was so well received that they had to do it again. And this match may have been better than the first one. So they're going to have another match. And it's going to be at SummerSlam. Brock will retire at that time because it will be in Minnesota. So that's what's happening with that. That's where we're heading there. And then there's one other match to talk about, and that is the total surprise. I did not expect this to happen, but I am pleasantly surprised, honestly, in my opinion, that Sol Ruca won the Intercontinental Championship, the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Very pleasantly surprised about that. Because I think that title needs a refresh, big time. And Sol Ruca gives it that refresh. I think she's going to have some amazing matches in her title reign. I think Becky Lynch is either going to do very, very well in the Queen of the Ring tournament. She's not going to win it. Charlotte Flair is going to win that tournament. Becky Lynch is not winning that tournament. And then Becky Lynch will have... I don't understand why they've been teasing this for a year, but there's a referee that works for WWE. Her name is Jessica Carr. She also wrestles a little bit on the side as well on WWE's Evolve. In a mask. Her ring name is Calyx. I don't get it. Whatever. I've seen some of her matches. She's good. But they've been teasing that for about a year now. They're going to pay that off eventually. There's probably going to be a match at some point. So keep that in mind if you're a fan of Becky Lynch as well. Keep that in mind. She's going to have a match with a WWE referee at some point down the line here. Which, I don't know how I feel about that. But there's my review of Clash at Italy. I thought it was good. The crowd was amazing, as it always is in Europe. So, yeah, we'll see what happens going forward here. The next pay-per-view is Night of Champions, and that is going to be in Riyadh. And then they will be at Madison Square Garden for Saturday night's main event. And then I believe after that is SummerSlam. So that should be pretty fun stuff. I think SummerSlam is kind of going to end up being, I think, a really good pay-per-view, in my opinion. We'll have to see. All right, there's your breakdown of my WWE review here for that. Coming up tonight, it is Summer Fun Run in Raynham Summer Fun Run number 5. This is a friendly and easy course through a residential neighborhood and open county roads, perfect for beginning and intermediate runners who are just starting their running life. Sign up and parking is going to be at the Park and Rec office in Raynham, and that is going to be at 22 58 King Philip Street, which is a few yards off of Route 104, South Main Street near the Taunton-Raynham line on Route 44. Weekly entry is $2, cash only, no checks or credit cards. Sign up once, and the first time you visit one of these events, and after that, you can just toss another $2 into the can at the sign up, and use the same bib that you got when you first signed up, and every time after that you go to one of these fun runs. Registration is at 6 p.m. Race starts at 6:30 p.m. this evening. Starting line is a short walk on the sign up to in the parking lot on South Main Street, near the corner of King Philip Street and South Main. The finish line is back where you signed up and parked. Cool water and sports drinks, Gatorade, await you there. There is a sidewalk and bike lane for mile 1, South Main Street, sidewalk and a runner lane after that, North Main Street, one hill, which is on Gardner Street, mile 2, leading up to the turn at the top of the hill, onto King Philip Street. The last leg is open along farm, land, and athletic fields. Sponsored and organized by the Colonial Road Runners Club, and no, you do not have to join the club to run. So there you go. All abilities, beginners, walkers, moms and dads with strollers, and a few fast rabbits, a lot of joggers, all are welcome. One last thing, it's a fun run, not a tryout for the Olympics. So just have fun at this event as well. I know a lot of there have been some runners in the past that have run, this particular fun run, but also have run bigger runs in their careers, like the Boston Marathon, for example. So all levels of runners are welcome at that summer fun run. That is going to be tonight as well. So there you go. We are going to take our last commercial break, and when we come back, we will finish the show off by talking about the Patriots. Yes, the New England Patriots, and a little bit more sports as well. Along with that, enter phone calls 508-822-1106. We'll be right back.
WVVF is your hometown radio station. And one of the things we like to do to support people in your hometown is to run community announcements. If you do belong to a nonprofit group or organization, or if you're an official with a city or town government, send your community announcements along to our email address. It's safe, it's fast, and it allows us to get right back to you if we have a question. Send your community announcements to WVBF1530@hotmail.com. That's WVBF1530@hotmail.com. Thank you for listening. Your hometown radio station is AM 1530, WVBF, and 99.7 FM.
It's time for minimum.
No, 236, not 234.
Hey, it happened.
There we go. Much better. 3, 2, 1. And welcome back. They turned down the bumper music. Well, today is June 1st, and for Patriots fans, this is an exciting day potentially, as we learn if A.J. Brown will become a New England Patriot. All signs point to yes. All signs point to a pretty significant yes on that. There is even details about what the Patriots are potentially giving up, and that would be a 2028 first-round pick, which I don't mind at all. I really don't. As long as that means A.J. Brown is a Patriot, I really don't care what we give up, honestly. I think that is a huge deal. If it does happen, we still have to wait another couple of hours here. I believe 4 p.m. is the deadline for any kind of deal to happen. So after 4 p.m. deadline there is a deal, was whether the deal can be formally announced and things like that. Right now, it can't be. But we'll see. I mean, it's very interesting. I think this immediately improves the Patriots if it does happen, and I hope it does because AJ Brown would be a huge addition to the New England Patriots. I hope that that does happen, but we'll have to see. All right, we have that going on as well here. Now, coming up for the Red Sox. The Red Sox have the day off today. They do not play today. They are on their way back to Fenway. They'll start a series at Fenway against the Baltimore Orioles tomorrow night at 6:45 p.m. So we'll keep an eye on that and talk about that too. NBA Finals game number 1. It's the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs making their first final since 2014. The Knicks, they haven't been in a final for a while as well. They haven't won one in a while either. So this is going to be a very interesting series, the New York Knicks and the Spurs. I said I think the upper hand early on, I think, goes to the Spurs. They have the size. Obviously Victor Wembanyama. They have another player on that team that's pretty. That is also pretty tall as well. So I think when it comes to that aspect of the game, the San Antonio Spurs, they have it. So the Knicks are in trouble there. Thing is, the Knicks are very, very resilient. And this is going to be a very fun series, regardless. I think 6 games, maybe 7 games as well. I think this is going to be a fun series. It starts on Wednesday. It will be in San Antonio, game number 1, 8:30 p.m. on ABC. Now, the Stanley Cup final is also going to get underway. And this was a matchup, beginning of the year, I did not expect at all. I was thinking maybe the Avalanche would be the team that made the final on one side, and then maybe in the East, you'd have somebody else. I don't know who you would have in the East. Maybe the Montreal Canadiens, who just lost in the Eastern Conference Final to the Hurricanes. But I was thinking the Avs for sure to win the Stanley Cup this year, and it's not going to happen. The Avs and the Montreal Canadiens are not in the final. It is the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes. For the first time in 20 years have made a final. Can they win it? We will see. Las Vegas is not going to be easy. Game 1 is tomorrow night. It's going to be at 8 p.m. on ABC. So that should be a fun series as well. And we're going to finish the show today by looking at our MILB roundup. The Worcester Red Sox. This is for AAA here first. 6:05 p.m. start tomorrow. They'll be at home at Polar Park. They'll take on the Buffalo Bisons. That should be a fun series tomorrow. In AA, the early game is Springfield and Frisco at 1:05 p.m. Eastern. The Portland Sea Dogs will take on the Hartford Yard Goats at Delta Dental Field. That's at 6 p.m. tomorrow night as well. In High A, the Greenville Drive will start a series with the Rome Emperors. They will be in Rome, Georgia, to have this 6-game series with the Rome Emperors. This should be an interesting series. This is an important series for Greenville. Out of all the teams, they have the worst record out of all the minor league teams. So this is an important one. 6:45 p.m. tomorrow. And then finally, the Salem Ridgeacs. They we'll start a series with the Wilson Warbirds. They'll be back in Wilson to take on the Wilson Warbirds. That is going to be at 7:05 p.m. tomorrow evening. So that is your MILB roundup. And I am Joey Driscoll, and that was Middleboro Matters. I hope everyone enjoyed Middleboro Matters. I'll be back on Friday with another edition of Hometown Talk. Until then, have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.
We are AM 1530, WBBF, Middleboro, Toronto, and W259 TV, Middleboro Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Thank you for listening.
Just make sure we're good here.
Next on the Talking Information Center, it's the New York Times. Please stay tuned.
Hello, this is Lynn, and I'll be reading today from the New York
Just make sure we're
Times,
good here.
Monday, June 1st,
Okay,
2026.
let's see.
And the first article is after voting decision, a month of political
Here,
So,
and
as
we
Republicans
are
rush to redraw
we are
the
good.
congressional maps,
We are
some
good.
voters are confused and
We are
concerned.
good.
And
We
civil
are
rights
good. Let's
activists
see.
are gearing up for the fight of a generation by Emily
We are
Cochran and
good.
Rick
And we
Broder.
are good. Okay,
It
perfect.
is a
Awesome.
confusing moment to be a voter in the South. Republican leaders
Good.
across the region have redrawn
Okay.
congressional
Good.
maps at breakneck speed.
All right.
This break weakened the voting rights,
Bye, everybody.
leading primaries to be postponed.
And
A veteran House member to